The story I'm going to tell you is about a huckster in 1911 in southern Indiana, just up the holler from Pekin and Borden, Indiana. Now those that don't know, a huckster, a peddler of sorts, would load his horse-drawn wagon with staples, dry goods from town, cloth, thimbles, maybe some thread, pots and pans, and drive through the country to sell to the farmers. And in return, the farmers would sell him eggs, butter, and produce to sell back in town. Now one summer day, he was driving way back down these dusty roads and stopping at every farmhouse when he realized a storm was brewing, so he turned his horse towards home. Now he was about halfway home and he realized he could not make it. So when he came to the next farmhouse, he turned into the yard. The kind farmer says, tie your horse up in the lean-to on the gable end of the house and come on in. And not too soon either. Just as he got on the porch, it started to rain. Now being a kind young family, they offered him supper and lodging for the night. So as they were eating supper and the wife cleaned up the table, he could smell this dessert in the oven baking. When she pulled the sugar cream pie out of the oven, you could see his false teeth moving inside his mouth. He wanted a bite so bad. She politely offered him a slice, but the grumpy husband would have none of it. If you cut that pie while it's warm, it will ruin it for the rest of us. Just wait until tomorrow. Well, not wanting to make a grumpy husband grumpier, she quietly set it on the nightstand. Now bedtime came, said their prayers, and they got ready for bed. Being the jealous husband he was, he had his wife get in bed first to sleep against the wall. He got in next, and the huckster got in on the outside. Now into the night, the farmer had a frequency problem and woke his wife and said, "You need to come with me with a stranger in bed." Outside they went, and she turned loose. "I'm not getting up every time you need to come outside," she said, and that was that. Well, what a busy night this farmer had. So every time he got out of bed, he'd pick up the little baby in the cradle and set it in between the wife and the salesman. Run back, get in bed, set the baby down. Well, they were all wakened by a big gust of wind, and they could hear the tin roof flapping. And like most of us, if you have one problem and another pops up, you'll forget about the first problem. So when he jumped out of bed, he forgot to put the cradle between the wife and the salesman. Just as soon as the screen door was slammed shut, the wife rolled over and whispered to the salesman, "Now's your chance." With that, he jumped out of bed and had a great big piece of pie.